Have you ever been starstruck? I have, more than once. Over the years, I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of people, a lot of celebrities that I admire. And of all the people I've met, I've only actually been completely starstruck only a few times. One of those times was when I met Rakim. What's interesting about this story is that it was actually the second time I met Rakim that I was completely caught up in just who this individual was. Now, if you don't know who Rakim is, you probably, want to go watch something else. But for those who know, they know who Rakim is. So, that being said, let me just start at the beginning. I first met Rakim. Whoa, let me back up. I first saw Rakim live in concert back in 1987. He was on the Dope Jam tour. And the Dope Jam tour was this huge tour from that featured like a star-studded lineup of early rap artists. So that tour consisted of course, Eric B Rakim, Kool Moe Dee, Biz Markie, Ice T, Dougie Fresh, and I think there was one more on there. It was like six. It was like Public Enemy. So if I'm not mistaken, so that's the first time I saw Rakim live, and it was incredible. Um, Years go by, and I've seen him, several times over the years from '87 all the way through the early '90s. Well, after I moved out to Phoenix from Milwaukee in 1998, I began DJing for a rap group out here called No Question. Two individuals, and of course, me coming on as the DJ. So, one of the first shows that I performed with these guys was Rakim, was with Rakim. And I think Rakim had only been here maybe once or twice before then. He hadn't come to Phoenix that often, from what I've been told. Now, this group, no question, they had done several shows with several very well known rap artists and groups. But this was, I think, maybe our second show that we did together. And we were opening for Rakim. So at that show, of course, we all get to the venue that afternoon for sound check. And it was Rakim and his crew, basically his DJ and one or two other guys that was with him. And then there was another local act called X Factor that was also performing. So along with the staff of the venue, which was Celebrity Theater, we were all hanging out there doing sound check. Let me show you. This is actually a flyer for that show. TMC Presents, which was a promoter who was running things at the time in the Phoenix area as far as rap shows was concerned. And then as you can see, there's the two guys in No Question. I'm not in that picture because this picture was taken before I had even moved here. But yeah, 1998. There's the flyer for that show. So we're all sitting around waiting. Rakim sound checks first. And I remember his DJ, I don't recall what his name was, but he and his DJ were like taking turns doing DJ tricks on the turntables. And it was like really cool to see Rakim doing some DJ stuff. A lot of people don't know that Rakim was a DJ and loves DJing. So after they were done doing their thing, then we went up and we sound checked, and then X Factor came up after we did, and they sound checked. I met Rakim after sound check, and we just talked real quick, and I asked him to sign a record for me. And this is the record I want to show you. It's in a frame, so there might be a little glare there. But this was the record that I had Rakim sign for me on that particular show. And of course, again, that was earlier during sound check, so there was nobody around, and he was nice enough to actually sign that for me. So I think because there was so many people around that I didn't really get to really be on some one-on-one type stuff with him, and I was kind of just trying to get in and get out, because it was business as usual. People got stuff to do, and the show must move forward. So I was just happy to get him to autograph my record. And then I didn't know if like anybody was gonna pull any funny stuff, because there were some other people there I saw, and I remember this one guy asked for him to sign his CD that looked exactly like this. And then one of Rakim's boys grabbed the CD cover out of his hand, and he was like, "Here, let me make this better for you." And he ripped the CD right in half. So he ripped Eric B's part off, and then he gave it back to him. It's like, "Here, he'll sign that side of it." So I don't know, were they still, beefing or had a problem with each other back then? I don't know, but I was like, if this dude tear my album cover, I'm gonna move some furniture around up in here. So I was kind of on alert for something crazy like that to happen, but nothing like that happened. But that was my first encounter with Rakim. Still haven't met Eric B yet. I'm looking forward to that one day. But time goes on, and I've seen Rakim several times over the years. And then Rakim came back to Phoenix. I can't remember the exact year because I didn't. I should have researched that a little bit. But he was on a tour and Kid Capri was DJing for him on that tour. So it was like a Rakim / Kid Capri show. And if you know Kid Capri, come on, you already know how it was going down that day. Well, I was hired. Again, it was another TMC show. And I was hired to DJ the show and also, excuse me, and also host the show. So what I did was I brought along my homeboy, DJ Drunk Jeff, and he actually DJ'd the show while I just hosted the show, right? So at some point, Rakim had to have said it from the stage, but at some point, Rakim says that he's going to be signing autographs, or he's going to be meeting the fans. That's what it was. And I forgot exactly if he said it or if somebody else said it. I'm not exactly sure, but we knew, everybody in the building knew that after the show, we were going to get to meet Rakim. And we must have caught wind of it that it was going to be on his tour bus. And his tour bus was parked in the back of the venue. So right at the end of his show, when we knew he was getting ready to end the show and walk off stage, me and Jeff, we just leave out of the front, and then we just go all the way around to the back of the building. And we might have went through the venue to the back of the building, I don't recall. But we were the first two people in line. I was first, Jeff was behind me, and we were just waiting there at the front door of his tour bus, the side door, whatever it is. Anyway, so a few minutes later, Rakim and his people, they come out, and they get on the bus, and one of his people says to us, and then people just started lining up behind him, big long line. And one of Rakim's boys tells us, "Hey, just give him a few minutes, let him get set up or whatever, and we'll get to everybody." So it's cool. So we wait maybe another 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is, and finally they start letting people on the bus. And his boy's like, two at a time, two at a time. So me and Jeff go on the bus first. And like I said, I'm the first one in line. So Rakim is sitting on a stool all the way in the back of the tour bus. And then there's some chick there, and she's like sitting off to the side. So it's just some chick off to the side in the corner, Rakim sitting on a stool, and at that point, just me and Jeff on the bus, and one of Rakim's boys by the door, and one or two of his boys standing outside or whatever it was. So I walk up to Rakim first, and I was just like, wow, I can't remember everything I said to him, but I was talking. I remember saying, "Hey, man, thank you for coming, to Phoenix and rocking out with us," something to that effect. And I asked him if he could sign a record for me. He was like, "Of course." So this is the record that I pulled out, and this was from that Gunman soundtrack. And check this out: the marker that I had with me, you can see where I kind of tested it out ahead of time to make sure the marker was good. So I gave him that, and he signed that for me. And that's where I got this signature from. And I remember after he signed it, that's when I said, "Hey man, thank you for, coming to Phoenix or whatever." And he was like, "Oh man, no doubt, it's my pleasure." And he stood up and he grabbed me and he hugged me, gave me dap, and he hugged me. And I was just like, whoa. I wish I had a picture of that. But I was just like, whoa. And here's the crazy part. Like, after that was done, I turned around to leave. And I kid you not, it was like I was walking in slow motion. I was just like, and I'm walking, and Jeff is walking past me. I'm walking past. And it just seemed like everything was going in slow motion. It was just like, and by the way, they murdered that show. It was crazy on a live, on whatever. Am I supposed to say that? Edit that out. Anyway, they killed it that night. It was incredible. I mean, come on, Rakim and Kid Capri. Come on. So I walked back off of the bus, and it was just a blur. I kid you not, it was a blur. And I didn't come back into my right state of mind until the next morning when I woke up. And I remember I'm laying in my bed. I wake up and I'm laying there, and then I felt normal again. I was like, oh, whoa, wow, okay, I feel like myself again. But I kid you not, from the time that I walked on that tour bus and I walked over to him until the next morning when I woke up, I was like in this daze. I was like in this just this euphoric type of state of mind, because I had met Rakim, and he was like mad cool. Anybody that's ever met Rakim, will more than likely tell you the same thing. And if I know some of you guys have met him, so you know what I'm talking about. He's just that same dude no matter what. And then there's another record that I got signed that I pulled out, and that was the Master. And this one, I'm not exactly sure where I got this one signed. I can't remember if it was at the same time, because I don't recall. But I may have met him on another occasion. I would really have to go through my flyers and ticket stubs, maybe as a reminder, to see when else have I met Rakim. Because I don't think it was on this one. Because I've had him sign some other things for me. I have probably another at least two more autographs from other things that I've had him sign. But when I was pulling this one out to show you guys, I came across this one. I was like, man, where did I get this sign? I couldn't remember. So it was an incredible show. TMC, nobody did it like them since, you know what I'm saying? Oh, and I also pulled out this picture. That was me doing a DJ solo while I was Getting busy with no question on there. That was at the Celebrity Theater in Phoenix, Arizona. So yeah, that was like one of the very, very few times that I've been starstruck. And hey, Rakim, well, what can you expect? What can you expect from one of the greatest that ever did it? So yeah, that was another one of my experiences with being starstruck. Have you ever been starstruck? Tell me about it. We'll see you next time on Daryl D TV. You guys stay safe. Peace and love.